talk about some books.
Yes.
All right. So I suggested that we put together a list of our favorite books. We're trying to class this joint up a little bit. Oh, great. Fuck Lips can't read his own writing again.
No, it's not that I can't. It's like it's very dim down here.
Like you.
Not fair, not funny.
How could you type on one side and not the other?
I wanted to conserve paper.
Because I did this list at work, and I did this list at home. So I already printed it out from work.
Okay.
You can't print a piece of paper out twice.
Correct.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I know
you
you
can.
can.
Yes,
I know
you
you
can.
can. But I'm not a. Then it would go upside down. The font would be off. Go fuck yourselves.
No. You're dumb.
You can't.
What's your first book, shithead?
First book. Stop.
Okay,
My first-
Mr. Shithead.
my first-
Oh, dude, you're fucking deep in the barrel today. Prepare yourself.
My first book it probably is one of the books that probably got me into the horror genre. I read it when I was a kid. That's it was one of my books my mom probably got from a yard sale. It's called Letters from the Dead by an author called Campbell Black. And this book, basically, the woman in the story, her child at some point dies. And she starts receiving letters from the child with information only she would know.
I just got fucking goosebumps.
And it's like this. It's a horror ghost story kind of thing, and it really just the whole story just really pulls you in. And I won't give away. I mean, again, this book is from probably the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
On the cover, it actually says something like "better writing than King," which I'm going to be honest, and I know I'm not going to. I know Stephen King is probably on somebody else's list.
Maybe.
But again, and I'll talk about King at that point. But yeah, this book is number 5 because it was like the book that really got me into everything.
Gotcha.
And there's been several books called Letters from the Dead. I had to look this one up to get the right author.
Ah, okay. I go ahead. What's your first one, Jim?
Published between 1954 and 1956, we have the Lord of the Rings trilogy by J.R.R. Tolkien.
Color
Number
me
5?
fucking surprised.
No, I'm actually surprised it's this low. I can't wait to hear 4 through 1. Oh, you didn't range them, did you?
I kind of didn't.
I didn't either.
You people.
This was hard for me to fucking arrange.
I don't
in order.
I don't read much, so this was quite easy.
Yeah, fucking C-spot
used
run.
to read a lot, man. Seriously.
I did, and that comes into play later.
Yeah. But, Christ, I remember watching
Doug says good book, Bill.
Yeah.
the cartoon movies, Return of the King. And I always, matter of fact, for my sister got me the 4 books for my graduation present. I remember that. Yeah. But, yeah, nice reading.
Not bad. Not bad. Nothing I would ever read, but whatever. My first one. These are in no particular order. We'll get it out of the way now. Stephen King's Pet Sematary.
All right.
My favorite King book. This is a fucking terrifying read. This is one that King has a process when he writes. He'll finish a manuscript and he'll put it away for a year or 6 months. And then he'll come back and read it again. Pet Sematary frightened him that much it almost didn't get made.
Yeah. Yeah, because of
The shit with the kid.
Yep. Yes.
Completely bone-chilling, completely riveting. This is King at the peak of his powers.
All right.
This is... Doug, you lose 2 points for that because you read the Lord of the Rings books. Well, you can gain a point back if you tell me you didn't like them.
Come on. He can be learned.
Classic literature.
It's, okay. Now I'll stop you there. It's not fucking classic literature. It's fantasy literature. But I'm not saying it's bad. It gave us Dungeons and Dragons, so I will not piss on it.
There you go. There's that. There's that.
God.
All right. What's your next one?
Okay, my next one is one of my signed books that I have. We Met the Man. Love the book. Eddie Trunk's Essential Hard Rocking Heavy Metal.
Yep.
Volume 1, oh my God. I mean, when you go through that and the stories he has, and it's just, I mean, like him or not, he's done a lot for the industry and with the industry.
Yeah.
And whether you agree with him or don't, I mean, he's been there. And I enjoy seeing his take on some of these bands. And when he came out, well, all the people, you forgot about this. Well, when he came out with Volume 2, the rest of the bands were in there.
Yeah. I still have my my signed copy upstairs too. Very, very good book. Eddie Trunk, warts and all, the guy knows his shit. Mm-hmm. And he's not one of my favorites.
Yeah, there's stuff I don't agree with him with. I mean, I'm not a UFO fan.
I like UFO.
Yeah,
I do agree with him
I
on
can't
that.
get into UFO. And again, I'm not. We've discussed Kiss on this.
Yeah. Doug, I played D&D too. All right, what's your next one?
All right. This was Bill will know about this. There's a series of books out there called Dragonlance. A lot of them were trilogies, and then there were one-offs going deeper into different characters and stuff like that. There's hundreds of Dragonlance books.
Yep.
The first trilogy, I think, came out in the 80s. But the one that really affected me the most, it was published between the 3 books, between 2000 and 2002. It was Dragonlance War of the Souls trilogy.
Oh, that was a good one, yeah.
It was Dragon and the Fallen Sun, Dragons of the Last Star, and Vanished Moon.
Yep.
I think it was the 4th trilogy.
Okay.
Oh, no, it wasn't the 4th trilogy.
Well, then maybe it was the 5th.
Not even. That came out so late in the series.
Right, but I was thinking, I'm thinking have to do with the main character.
Okay, if you're talking to main characters, then yeah.
But, and you might remember this. I mean, I think it was in the Dragons of the Lost Star when Qualinos just got obliterated.
Flooded.
And, I mean, just for how many years since the 80s, you're talking about how beautiful this city is and this and everything else, and then in one chapter, the whole city is just fucking gone.
Yep, but they had to do that to he is completely.
No, I know, but it was. I mean, picture an elven city
to bring the elves together.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was. I mean, that was a riveting read for me.
Nice. I mean, it's all in what you like. Me personally, by the time I was getting ready to graduate high school, I had already seen Vagina, so fantasy shit didn't do anything for me. Next. This is a series. Thomas Harris with the Hannibal Lecter series. You have Hannibal Rising, and we're going in order of his life, not the chronological release of the books. You have Hannibal Rising, Red Dragon, Silence of the Lambs, and Hannibal. Gave us great movies. The character of Hannibal Lecter is so deep. If you go past go past the movies and read the books, there's so much shit that is there. It's just unfucking believably good and so well written. Thomas Harris is an absolute genius. Brian says he used to read the Choose Your Own Adventure books.
Oh yeah,
still have those.
Yes,
there you go.
Yes.
All right, what's your next one?
Next one. Now I'm big into retro video games. I have several books on the subjects of retro video gaming. One of my favorite ones is from Stephen Kent, The Ultimate History of Video Games. It takes you back from like before computer space, that very first coin operated game, up to where the book kind of ended in modern times. All the stories in between. I love that book and just the history of everything we grew up with and how it came about and the accidents and the failures, how Donkey Kong, came about because the cabinet, the 4 failed. And they basically made another game use the same sounds as Donkey Kong because they just refurbished the boards. things like that.
Right.
You know, that is like the ultimate history of video games. That's one of the many video game books I own.
Nice.
I forgot to say that was Dragonlance is by mainly the main storylines are by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you got next?
Another trilogy. This is from the Forgotten Realms.
More fucking fantasy.
Oh, the reason this is on the list is this is the very.
It's because you're a nerd.
Why don't you
Whatever.
just take it out and piss on this paper while you're at it?
This came out between
Jesus Christ.
Because I peed before you got here.
80 and so did I.
He's
That's why I
reading.
can't piss on his
Okay?
list.
He's reading. If he comes from a town without a library, he has books. Let the man alone.
Fair enough.
Came out 88 to 90. Matter of fact, the reason I first bought this, it's called the Icewind Dale trilogy by R.A. Salvatore. The Crystal Shard, Streams of Silver, Halfling's Gem. This was the first fantasy series I ever read. And it brought to life one of, I'm going to say, the Dungeons & Dragons universe, one of his greatest characters, Drizzt Do'Urden, the Dark Elf. You know what I'm talking about?
Of course I know.
And the
Drizzt.
okay, yeah.
I never knew how to
Drizzt.
pronounce it.
Drizzt.
Yeah.
It's Drizzt.
It's a strange name.
It is.
It's just,
It is. But written by R.A. Salvatore.
yeah.
Once again, this has multiple trilogies, and it's still going to this day. But yeah, that was my first venture into fantasy, and I was like, oh shit. And then I discovered Dragonlance. And then I went, oh shit.
And I'm sorry to hear that.
No.
I'm sorry to hear that. Back onto a good book. My next one.
Back onto a good one.
Yes, that's right. Brian says no, he comes from a town where his neighbors hate him and park in front of his house. and he takes pictures of it. What a dick.
I can. Okay.
No, dude.
I gotta
on
tell
that
story.
on that one, I feel you.
No.
It happens here all the time.
When we get done, I'll tell you. When we get done this list, I'm going to tell you what the fuck happened.
Okay. So my next one, by the one and only Henry Rollins. And I could have gone in a bunch of different directions with this. I could have gone with the Black Coffee Blues stuff. I could have gone on with Shut Up, You're Traveling. But no. My absolute favorite Henry Rollins book is called Get in the Van.
All right.
It's culled from his diaries and journals when he was a member of Black Flag. And it runs from the time even before he joined Black Flag, when he was still living in D.C., working at a Haagen-Dazs and singing for a band called the Teen Idols, until the time he left Black Flag. It's a must-read for every musician. It's an unfucking believable read. And, like, the shit that Henry went through with the cops and how they treated the guys in Black Flag and punk rockers in general is fucking gross. Doug said he knew Henry was in here somewhere.
Yeah.
Of course. I got a shitload of Rollins' books. What's your next one?
All right. Next one is by an author that's a friend of the show, personal friend of mine, Jennifer Serrato from You Stone Jenny Sweets and More.
Yes.
She wrote a couple books. The first one in the trilogy, this is what I'll put down, it's called Searching for an Ocean.
Okay.
It's a story about growing up in Lehighton, leaving town, and then coming back and kind of seeing what had become. It's almost very kind of personal. I mean, it speaks about the town that I grew up in, and it's the familiarness of it. It's a beautiful book. I bought the whole trilogy that she did. The whole trilogy is really beautiful, and when she was writing it, she asked for stories of growing up in Lehighton. One of my stories from my youth appears in that book.
Oh my god!
Nice.
It wasn't a flattering story, but a story, nonetheless.
Okay. Is it a story involving anyone else at this table?
No. This was when I was I hadn't even met you guys.
Oh, you
yet.
were a wee little tyke?
I was in elementary school.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, Doug, we do got to get Jimmy to read Henry's books. He give him a new appreciation for the man, the thinking man's thug, Henry Rollins. He recently celebrated a birthday, by the way.
Well, I mean, if you rewrite them and cast Henry as maybe a barbarian tiefling, maybe.
He's talking about Westerberg.
No, he said you.
No.
He said Jim.
No, he said got to get Westerberg
But
to
you
read
said
Henry's
Jim.
book. Yes.
He said Jimmy.
Yeah, but you're also Jimmy.
You don't call me Jimmy.
Nobody calls him Jimmy. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe Jenny will write a book about Summit Hill.
Well, she's never been from there.
All right, what's your next fucking book, Jim?
I'm trying to think. Dude, we haven't covered Planescape yet, so
What?
go on.
What's Planescape?
It's a fantasy realm.
Oh.
Oh, don't you act all haughty about that after naming 3 of them.
I've never heard of it. Dingbat. See, now who's the fucking nerd?
You fucking geek,
Shut it. 2020.
And you.
20,
and me.
2021. Dave Grohl's autobiography, storyteller, tales of life and music.
Does he tell about it? Does he talk about Hooters in the book, and fathering kids out of wedlock?
No, that was well before this.
Okay, I was just wondering.
But this it starts out, with his childhood and how he grew up in a relationship he had with his mother and his estranged father, and how he would sneak out and go to he lived
He lived in D.C.
Alexandria, and he would go to punk shows.
at the 930 Club.
Yep.
Yep.
And then he goes on through, Nirvana and what happened there.
Nearly joining Guar.
Really?
Yeah, he was nearly the drummer for Guar.
He
at
was
one
almost the drummer for Tom Petty too.
point. Yeah, and turned it down.
Yes, because he said that was one of the because that he still had Foo Fighters. Well, he didn't
Foo
have
Fighters
the name
was
yet.
still in the works.
Yes, and he was like, "Do I want to take this chance on my band or?" go play with this guy, and he said that was one of the hardest no's he ever had to say in his life.
Oh, I believe it.
But it tells multiple stories of, I'm trying to think of the punk band he was in, because he lied about his age to get in. He was like 17.
Yeah.
17, and he talked about touring with them, in Europe and across the country, just riding in a van, just, $4 a day is all they were allowed to use. They're stipend. It was tough, but then he goes on to the Foo Fighters and shit that happened then.
Yeah. That's actually a book I would like to read. I could have gone. I have quite a few rock and roll autobiographies that are really good. I've got Ozzy's. I've got Mustaine's. Mustaine's was an interesting read because you go from periods of feeling bad for the guy to being like, fuck you, you dick. You deserved everything that happened. Geddy Lee's is really good. I just got done with that one. There's a lot of real. Johnny Z's is okay. The audiobook's terrible because Johnny Z has that fucking thick New Jersey accent, and he reads it, and he can't read very well. Johnny Z can't read real well.
Trying to get anybody else to do it. I mean, he's connected to so many people.
I know, but I was thinking the same thing.
Ace Frehley.
There was
That would have been fucking bad.
There was another story in there which I didn't know. I don't think he got invited somewhere and he didn't know this was happening, but it was an Iggy Pop album release party, and Iggy asked him to be the drummer for the show in front of all the people there.
Nice. All right, my next one. The closest we're going to get to any fantasy on my list. The Hitchhiker's Guide series by Douglas Adams.
It works.
Doug, I'd like to read that. Doug says he has a book on Thin Lizzy. I would like to read that.
Can't make fantasy is part of the sci-fi.
You got The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, The Restaurant at the End of the Universe, Life, the Universe, and Everything, So Long and Thanks for All the Fish, Mostly Harmless, and Another Thing. A 5-book trilogy.
Yep.
Douglas Adams' words, not mine.
Yep.
They kind of crammed a bunch of shit from all the books into the movie. But the books are really fucking good. It's British humor at its best. or not maybe at his best, but pretty damn close. There's some great characters in there: Ford Prefect, Zaphod Beeblebrox, Trillian Dax. You know,
I enjoyed the movie.
yeah, I dude, Mos Def was really good as Ford Prefect, and then Alan
Rickman. was the
Rickman as
robot.
the robot. Sam Rockwell as Zaphod Beeblebrox.
Yep.
Zoe Deschanel, she wasn't a total twat in this one, like she is in most other things. Zoe Deschanel wasn't bad as Trillian. That I gotta watch that again. I should go back and watch the old BBC version as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I've seen them both many times, but I should go back and watch that one. All right. What's your next one? Or do you have any honorable?
Oh yeah, definitely. 'Cause these barely fit on the list. Now I got 2 poetry books. The poetry of Jim Morrison,
Nice.
Wilderness and American Night. If you read those books, not all of them became Doors songs, and some of them did, and also some of them became parts of Doors songs. Great books. I mean, again, they're not poetry books in the standard poetry sense.
Yeah.
But my God, he could write. Another one is the NES Omnibus, volumes 1 and 2, 2 big thick books about every NES game ever made.
Yes. It's
And-
more like an encyclopedia.
Yes, it's coffee table books, which I love coffee table books. And the third one, I just recently got this book, but it's the Three Stooges story as written by Mo Howard.
Whoa.
Yes. So it's his account of everything that went on from the very beginnings of how he got into it. And that movie that they made, I'm going to say, the shit movie that they made.
The ABC one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mo Howard was not poor. Mo Howard was a real estate agent. He had money.
Yeah.
You know, he bought, their houses. He knew what he was doing with the money. Columbia never raised their salary, but he also knew what to do with the money when he had it.
Yeah. Even back in the vaudeville days, Mo was not broke.
Yeah. There is a great story when he was starting out in vaudeville. He was they were at a club in the South doing a show. Well, going to do a show. They were billed. And a black man needed help. And so he helped the guy up and just kind of helped the guy, around the curbs, being friendly because, he was from New York. And went to his hotel, came back later, poster was taken down.
Yeah.
And he said, what's going on? Why, aren't we? He says, no, you guys were canceled tonight. That was it. And we don't tolerate end lovers here. And that's it.
Yeah. I mean,
He was seen helping a black man. But again,
Wow.
this is in like the 30s.
Yeah.
well, now he wasn't, to be fair, and I can't believe I'm even like, it's amazing that they got booked in Jim Crow, Georgia,
Oh, yeah.
because they were all Jewish.
Yep. And that's why they changed the name to Howard from Horowitz.
Oh, yeah.
And Ted Healy was working with him as well. Again, the book is just an amazing read, start to finish, chronologically, everything, how everybody, right up to the very end, when they just really retired. And it's a great book. That is my honorable.
I would like to read that.
Okay.
I would like to read that. You got any honorables?
Yeah, I got 3. The Dead Zone by Stephen King.
Good book.
It's one of his more easier reads.
Yeah, it's not
It's not really long
right.
compared to, his other ones. Duff McKagan's autobiography, It's So Easy and Other Lies, that was a really, really good read. That starts with him being up in Seattle in the punk scene.
Yeah, well, yeah, with TSOL, bands like TSOL.
And
shit
then all
like
the
that.
heroin going around, he decided he had to get the fuck out of there. Last honorable, compared to the movie, this book was absolutely freaking riveting. By Dan Brown, Angels and Demons.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
He also wrote the Da Vinci Code and a couple other things. But this movie or this book, reading it, I mean, oh my God,
I thought, I'll be honest, when you brought up the movie, that's not where I thought you were going.
Why?
I thought you were going The Dirt.
Oh.
I thought you were going The Dirt. Because there's so much bullshit in that movie and so much bullshit in that book, too. You got any more?
No, I got 3. That's it.
All right,
I could have had more, but ugh.
So I've been watching. You guys know my fucking my absolute disgust and how much I despise Frank Ferrana.
Oh yeah.
Okay, a few prominent former junkies. Okay, one of them being Philip Anselmo,
Oh.
have come out saying that the Heroin Diaries is all bullshit.
Oh.
Because nobody that's that far gone on smack is keeping a fucking journal.
Yeah.
I have the Heroin Diaries. And, I mean, there's some shit that's verifiable in it. You know, like him ODing and dying and all that shit. That's all verified. But there's some stuff that's really fucking hard to buy. But, once again, it's Frank fucking Ferrana. So we know he's a scumbag and he's a fucking liar and he's a piece of shit. But anyway, my honorables. The first one, by Clive Barker, The Hellbound Heart.
All right.
The origin story of the Cenobites. Okay. He was commissioned to write the movie, okay? And they wanted a story to base the movie off of, so he wrote the novella that became The Hellbound Heart.
Okay.
Fantastic fucking read. And right now I think I'm about 3/4 of the way done with the Scarlet Gospels, which is a crossover between Hellraiser and another one of Barker's recurring characters, the detective Harry D'Amour. Okay. Hellraiser, or Pinhead, is taking over hell. And he wants Harry D'Amour, who's the psychic detective, to be his witness
Ah.
and to spread his new gospel of hell.
All right.
Boy.
Oh, dude, this fucking book is unreal. But it's Barker. I knew it was going to be good. We've got The Godfather by Mario Puzo.
Ah.
Amazing book, turned into amazing movies. I absolutely love The Godfather. The story is so fucking riveting from start to finish. And my last one, my last honorable, I had to put a wrestling book on here. And it's one that is really hard to find. I don't have a print copy of it. I have a fucking pirated PDF.
Oh.
But it is an amazing read. It reads like a master class in the wrestling business. And the guy's had great stories. He's since passed away. And the book is long out of print, and it'll probably never be reprinted because of licensing issues with photographs and this and that and the other. But the book is called My Life in Wrestling by Gary Hart.
Okay.
Oh.
This guy has been, he'd been everywhere. He worked for everybody. He was Fritz von Erich's right-hand man for a lot of years in World Class. He's the guy that put together the whole angle between the Von Erich family and the Fabulous Freebirds. That was all Gary Hart. It reads like a masterclass in the wrestling business. From performing as a wrestler, as a manager, to booking, to promoting, all of it. Great fucking book.
All right.
What's your number one?
Well, my number one that Jim should know because Jim got me into this series and I fell in head first, and it I absolutely love the series. I have books, T-shirts, the whole 9 yards, and that is the Dragonlance Chronicles. I went with the original 3.
Yep.
They,
From the
Yeah.
84,
yeah.
84, I think.
I
the first one
have
came out.
I have almost every book. There's a few I'm missing from the entire series, but it's ones that I don't want because I could give a shit, about like the ogres and the frost giants and all that goofy shit. But I have so many of them. I've read a lot of them.
Yes, he was, Doug.
I've read a lot of them, and I have to actually, so I don't forget I read them. I put a mark on the book to make sure I remember that I read it.
The paperbacks, okay?
Yeah, that's what
I literally have a box bigger than that.
Yeah.
filled
I have an
with the
entire
paperback.
I have an entire bookcase full of them. And again, I'm missing a few that
And
I could care less about.
I actually went back and I bought the Chronicles in hardcover. I found them
Okay.
on eBay. I got the Twins trilogy. I
Yep.
got that in hardcover. And then when every other new trilogy came out, I
Yeah.
tried to get them in hardcover.
Yeah, I actually now the King Priest trilogy did like a few printings and went out of print. So the books are like extremely expensive. Found them at Quakertown
Oh my god!
Nice.
for $1 a piece.
Oh,
See, I keep going to the used bookstores looking for Gary Hart's book because like that's going on the cheapest I saw it on eBay was and on Amazon was like $300.
Yeah. I wonder if and now I mean maybe and again how would you get it? But like a bookstore in Canada.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it's like it's not that easy to get to a bookstore in Canada. Plus, it's cold. You think it's cold here? Holy shit!
But the whole thing is like with
Yeah.
the internet, it's everybody knows what the fucker's worth now.
Oh yeah.
So
except that guy in Quakertown.
Oh, again, that was just it was in a box full of books. Whenever I find used books, I would go through them, and I found them. I was just like, oh, okay, $1 a piece. There's $3. We're done.
yeah,
And they're in great condition. People have been telling me, you can sell them, and that would like fund your whole collection. I mean, yeah, man, I ain't selling them.
yeah,
My kids will just throw them out when I die anyway.
yeah. Well, all right. What's your number one there, Jimmer?
This is the OG fantasy novel, written in around 8 BC by a guy named Homer.
The Odyssey.
The Iliad and the Odyssey.
Oh, for a minute I thought you were going to say the Bible.
No.
Oh my God!
Well, that's an OG fantasy book.
BC.
That's an OG fantasy book.
Well, the Bible had to be written before Christ. The shit in there in the Old Testament was before Christ.
Well, yeah, but never mind.
Good fucking pull.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's a
What?
very good pull.
Very good pull.
Yes.
Yeah, I fucking love this book.
Have you ever seen Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yes,
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
yes, that's a take on the
Yes,
Odyssey.
exactly.
Yes. That is one of my favorite movies of all time. I fucking love that. I love pretty much anything Clooney.
Yeah,
But Oh Brother Where Art Thou is fucking fantastic. And John Turturro is
Yes.
killer and he's awesome in that. And
Oh, the whole
so
Stephen Root,
Yep. And let's not forget John Goodman.
John Goodman. Yep. Oh yeah, I love
Always
that
been forever
movie,
since
and
I
the
saw that
soundtrack
one.
is good too.
Yeah. We you come to fellow play the guitar.
It's the Soggy Bottom Boys.
Oh, fuck. My number one. We talked about it last week in our chronicling of great art. The Inferno by Dante Alighieri.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
You got a twofer.
A masterwork of prose and a masterwork of storytelling. I recommend this book to anybody. It's fucking riveting. And the way, like Alighieri's writing style, Dante's writing style, even if you're not a fan of poetry, it pulls you in. And the story is just so good. It's so good.
right.
All right. Good list.
See that?
I'll thumbs up, Bill. Or wait, that was me.
You get a thumbs up for me too.
Okay, thank you.
Because no, for me.